Hello everybody, welcome along. Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new, please don't forget to hit that subscribe down there, hit the notifications bell and give us a thumbs up. That would be very good and it helps promote the channel. So here we are now with pack, this is part 23, packs 25 and 26 we're going to do in this video. So the only reason being, I just had a look at pack 26. It looks like it's a fairly quick build and not enough for a whole video, so we'll do them both at once. So as usual, start off by looking at the magazine. You have to excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment and I stopped to sneeze and cough and sniff and all sorts, so sorry about that. So starting off here, Team Francorchamps. The Belgian Écurie Francorchamps was one of Ferrari's 4 satellite teams, along with NART, Maranello Concessionaires and Filippinetti. Its director Jack Schweiters began his sporting career after the Second World War. It only took a few years for him to gain Enzo Ferrari's trust. So there we go, you can see the cars there lined up. And we're back on the 512 Berlinetta Boxer again. So, yeah, we did this one in the last one, didn't we? And there they are on the assembly line, looking absolutely beautiful. Very, very nice indeed. And then here we've got the engine. This is the engine that became in the Ferrari Testarossa. Testarossa meaning red head. And there we can see Didier Pironi among the celebrities photographed at the wheel of a Ferrari 512BB was the famous racing driver Didier Pironi. Between 1981 and 82, he raced for the Modena team in Formula 1 alongside Gilles Villeneuve. And there's Gaetano Fioroni, was responsible for Ferrari's technical assistance and racing from the 1960s. Beautiful. That lovely space frame and the carburetors and everything there. Lovely. There's a lovely body there with all the assembly guys there. You can see some beautiful race cars. The 512 made a beautiful race car. I think you can get that from Model Factory Hero in 1/12 scale. Well, if it's available. I don't think anything they've got is available now. It's all sold out. So here we are then. In this one, we're going to be looking at coils, brackets, wiring and coil holders. So we've got quite a lot going on in here. So without further ado, let's get the light on, get the parts. So you can see we've got bags of screws in there. So I missed the line there, so we'll get the parts out. So we've got a nice blister pack once again, and we've got some screws and some vinyl tubing. So we'll get that bag out of the way. It's got some screws here, AP. We've got our vinyl tubing. We'll get this unwound and see if we can get some of the kinks out of it. It's unfortunate, but we get this with all model kits where you get vinyl tubing or silicone tubing, whatever. It's they have to reel it up. And it always gets the kinks in it like this, you can see, so it's unfortunate. You put it in some hot water, it'll straighten it out. Right, so we'll put that over there. Okay, so we've got our parts here. We'll get this little packet open, if I can get in there. I think a lot of this is going to click together. I don't think there's going to be much screwing going on, but I've got the tap ready. We put those back together. They can go in the recycling. Right, so we got all our parts there, all looking lovely. So it looks like all the coils are the same, and all the coil halves are the same. Yes, all these brackets are the same. We got that. Okay, lovely. So then we're going to come over the page, and we're going to take the coil body parts 25E and 25F, and assemble them to form the 4 coils photo B. So we're going to basically clip these together. So we've got the top is black. Okay, so make sure we get those together like that. And we're literally going to push those together like that. And we're going to make 4 coils. And lovely coils they are too, in their bright red colour scheme. And once more in there. Okay, right, so next up we are going to fit the coils into the coil holder. So we can see we've got the coil holder here. There's a hole there, so with that way around, the coils are going to face up and they're going to slide into there onto that pin, which is easier said than done. Is that which way they go? I'm guessing it must be. Doesn't seem to want to go into that hole though, that pin. Let's try the next one. No, it doesn't want to go on. We might have to drill out. Let's see what size this pin is. If I can get on there to measure it, that is. It looks like it's sort of 1.8, and that hole is only 1.6, so that's the problem. So we've got to get a 1.8 drill and drill that out. I'm sure they go this way. Just looking at it here, that's going to fit onto that bracket like that, and those coils, yeah, they got the points facing away. So we've got to drill these out. What I'm going to do, because most of you won't have a 1.8mm drill, so what I'll do is take a pointed knife and just give that a couple of turns just to open that hole up a bit, and then they should. It's blooming cold, it's doing me. My eyes are streaming. I can't see what I'm bloody doing. So with that way up, they're going like that. There we go, and they'll go on now. Let's try another one. See if it was just that one that had a small hole. Yeah, that one's gone. It was just that one. It's probably a build-up of paint, because obviously they're painted red, and the paint is probably quite thick to cover the black plastic. There we go. So that's that together. Okay, and then we've got to fit these little parts here, and they've got a D-shaped pin on here, and there's a D-shaped hole in there, so they're going to fit that way round, and they're showing you in the instructions here that that little pip there must go to the top left. Okay, so not quite sure what these are. Might be little ignition modules or something, but they're just, to all intents and purposes, they're just detail, aren't they? That's all they are, just detail. Right, so that's gone on like that. Mount the coil bracket 25A on the coil holder and secure it with 2 AP screws. So I'm going to grab a couple of AP screws, like so. Put one back in the bag so it's identified. Oh, come on. Right, go back in. 1 minute they don't want to come out and then want to go back in. Right, sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to take our screwdriver, preload it, just like so. Put that knife out the way so we don't cut ourselves. And then we're going to take this piece here and we're going to fit that onto there like so. Or is it the other way round? Yes, it's that way round. So you can see we've got these recessed holes in here. They're sort of counterboard, and that's going to fit in like that. And then we can put a screw into there. It's going into plastic, remember, so don't go graunching it up. Okay, and do the same on the other one. Put that into there. And that will hold all of that in place lovely. Right, now we've got to fit this bracket. So we've got a couple of, we're going to tap a couple of threads here. So you're probably wondering why I don't use oil on my taps. It's because these parts are painted with matte black paint, and if you get oil on it, it tends to sort of soak into the surface and spread. You end up with a sort of an oily sheen on everything. So we've got lots of AM screws in here. One left over, as usual. So we'll preload our screwdriver. I'm doing well today on the preloading, aren't I? Okay, and then we're going to fit this onto here. Again, we've got those recesses on there. So that's going to pop over like that. And then we're going to put a screw in there. Okay, just in a few turns, and then we'll get another one. And we'll put one in there, just like so. There we are, just like that. Now then, take the coil wire 25G, cut 4 pieces to the sizes shown photo A and fit them to the front pins of the 4 coils. So we want a rule. I'm going to use one of these blue rules because it's easy for you to see. And we are going to get a pair of cutters. So we want one at 50 millimeters. So we'll put it at 50 mil, hold it there and cut. So there's 50. We want one at 40. Sorry, put that below that one at 40. And then we want 2 at 25. There's one. And there's 2. And then we're looking at here, we've got the next lot. Okay, I'm not going to do that straight away because we may get it wrong. Okay, so we're looking at these coils like this. So the longest one is going onto here. And it will be a lovely fit and it will slide on lovely, just like they always do. Unlike some other manufacturers. And then we've got the 41 here. That's going to go on like so. And then 25. And then 25. There we go. Right, so that's that done. So as it's showing us there, 50, 40, 25, 25. And then next cut 4 more pieces, 25G to the lengths indicated photo C and fit them to the top ends of the coils. So 45, 45, 40 and 40. So 45, 45, two 45s and then we'll have the 2 40s below them. There's one, and then there's one there. So that's the spare piece and that's the 40. Right, so these are going to go on 40 onto there. Like I say guys, with this model you get a lot to do in each build. It's nice, it's really nice, it's keeping you busy. Got that right, yeah, 45. I'm guessing it probably doesn't really matter. It's, I think the hose lengths on here are very generously cut anyway. So take the engine and gearbox assembly and place the coil assembly across the gearbox, orientating it as shown in photo A. Attach the ends of bracket A and auxiliary bracket 25B to the right hand rear frame and left hand rear frame with AM screws. So we're going to take our engine, beautiful engine assembly like it is here, and we're going to fit it onto here. The screws are going, okay, this is going on the inside of the chassis. So how is this going with those hoses? So that's going down there. I'm surprised we haven't connected these hoses up to anything yet. Okay, so I'm off camera. So that's going to go down there, and then this is going to fit. That's on that side. That's on that side. They're showing that, okay, so that's got to come over this way. Right, so that's got to come over that way. go down through there. So I'm going to put my thumb in there to hold that down and then fit this onto here like so. Okay, so that's going to go, get that pipe out of the way. Go away! These pipes are a pain. Oh, come on. Sorry guys, this is not interesting viewing. Right, that's going in there like that. Okay, this is going to be awkward. So what I'm going to do is cut these threads. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so I've got this positioned and I haven't preloaded the screwdriver like an idiot. And I'm just going to try and screw this together, but it's... Okay, I just wanted to get one in to hold it in place. It's not the easiest to do, but it does go together. Now I've tapped those holes so you can see the screws are going in nice and easy. If you have to work harder with yours, it's just because you haven't cut the threads. It's not going to be too bad anyway, even if you don't do it. And then on this side, if you notice, I've tightened the screws up because we're going to pull it all into shape. I can't quite see how this is going to fit with that linkage there. They're not showing how it goes. That linkage is really in the way. Maybe it's supposed to fit this side of it. Yes, it is. You look at this model and you see things and you think that's not going to go, and then all of a sudden it just pops into place. It's lovely. It was the same with that anti-roll bar mount bracket I did in the last video. I didn't think that was going to go in, and all of a sudden just clip, in it went, and it fitted beautifully. Okay, that screw is not lined up with that hole at all. I'm going to pull that bracket round. Come on. There we go. So that's gone in there now. And then the last one will come down here. And I'm not sure that's even going to reach. It's miles away. Yes, it does. Brilliant. No, it doesn't. Just pull it over it so that the screw can grab hold of it. And it will all pull up together. There we go. So that's our coil bracket fitted in there like that. These hoses here, I've tried to do them like they've got them in their build, but they don't seem to want to go that way. Anyway, there it is. All right. So coming over the page, we're going to connect the coils up. So connect the two 25mm coils, pipes, from the two left-hand coils to the two terminals on the left-hand distributor, and the 40 and 50mm wires from the two right-hand coils to the terminals on the right-hand distributor. So photos A and B. So we have, okay, so this one's going to go, as I told you, these pipes are very generous in their length. So that one's going to go onto there like that, and unfortunately it's got a kink in it, which is always a shame because once you get a kink it's very difficult to get rid of it. So I'm going to cut something off that length. Just going to cut it to like that length there, and then connect that like that. Okay, so it's a far more direct. And then this one here, it looks like they've got it going over the fuel lines, so I'm going to do the same. I'm going to cut a bit off of this one because otherwise it's going to kink up and look awful. Alright, I'm going to take that and put it onto that one there, like so. Okay, so that looks a lot better than having a kink in it. Then we're going to take the other two. So we're taking these two here. These two here are going to go you can hardly see it. That's going over the top there, under that linkage and then onto that pin there, which you can hardly even see. I can move that distributor over. That's good. That pipe there has come off. So I'm going to put that pipe back on. There we go. This one here. Wow, this is fun. Right, so this one's going to turn around and it's going to go onto that one there, which is bloody awkward. And then this one here is going to come around the outside and go on like that. There we go. So that's those connected. Repeat the operation with the 45mm of the two right hand coils. Hang on, connect the 40mm wires from the left hand coils to the coil cable connectors 12J on the left hand distributor, photo C. Okay, so these are going to go up. Right, so underneath this little nest of wires here, we have two connectors. So we can see one is in there. It's very difficult even for me to see, so you can't see a thing, I should imagine. What I'll do is I'll connect them and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so there we go. You can see those all now connected. There's two connectors inside each coil. So on the within the outer ring of leads. So there's our coils all connected up. That's really, really nice. Right. So that has been pack Take Care, Fix the top cables of the outer coils to the outer connectors and the top cables of the inner coils to the inner connectors. Yes. So there we go. So that's been pack 25. Let's have a look now at pack 26. So we'll turn the light off because we've got the magazine in front of us. But look at that there, lovely, look at it. It's looking absolutely stunning. Very, very nice indeed. Okay, so a new competition in Monza. So the 1,000 kilometres of Monza are arranged by the Automo Club of Italia as a round of the World Championship began on April 25th, 1965. Here we go. Oh. 288 GTO, that is my favourite Ferrari of all time. Absolutely awesome car. My favourite Ferrari of all time. Yes. I love that car so much. It's so beautiful. It's basically a 308 GTB with the engine turned, because the 308 GTB has a transverse engine sitting on top of the transmission. This one has the, I think it sits on top of the transmission. This one has the engine turned round. It's a V8 and it's like a Formula 1 car with the gearbox, the engine and then the gearbox behind it. So the driver's here, if it's right on drive, engine's there. Much like this one is here. Same sort of layout. Beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous car. Absolutely stunning. Worth millions of pounds now. See the seats being hand stitched there. So we've got in this one, we've got frame and pedals. Remember, I thought this was bits of pipework or something, but I was wrong. It was pedals. See, I am wrong a lot of the time. And you'll see me make mistakes in these videos, and that's because I'm concentrating on what I'm looking at here, what you can see, and what I'm saying. And it's not always easy to do it all at once, especially for a silly old bugger like me. Anyway, right. So, tip these parts out. Those trays together so they can go in the recycling. So we've got all our bits. There's that one there. There's that one there. There's that one there. That one there. This is pedals and shafts basically, and then we've got a piece of vinyl tubing here. We could have just used the spare from the last lot. This is a different size perhaps. So we've got a piece of vinyl tubing, and then we've got MP and ABP screws. Okay, so assemble the clutch pedal. So we've got the clutch pedal, which is 26B. Yes, that's just the rectangle. No, that's this one here. Okay, so that's the brake pedal, that's the clutch pedal. So this is 26C. Yes, so that's going to go on like that. And then we're going to take a ABP screw. If the bag will ever open. Come on, bag, open. Now we've got to try and get one back in. There we go. Right, so that's going to go. So that brake pedal's going that way round. Bloody cold. I didn't preload the screwdriver, did I? Duh. I need a small screwdriver. There we go, there's a little Tamiya one. So once again, for the third time, we'll put the clutch pedal on there. Alright, and then we'll drive that screw in. This is going into plastic, so go steady with it. It's not even going in. Screw's misaligned. There we go, it's going in now. It's quite tight actually, which is good. That means it'll stay in there, it won't fall out. So there we go, that's gone in there. And then we can take our brake pedal here with this is the kinked line. And that's going to go, we got this cut out chamfered edge here. That's going to go on like that. And I haven't preloaded the screwdriver again. Like a numbskull. Right, that's going to go in like that. Into that hole. And then we're going to drive this screw into that hole. Just like so. Fix the accelerator into the accelerator pedal with an ABP screw, then push the throttle cable into the pin on the accelerator pedal. So that's the cable. Here's the screw. Okay, so that's going like that. That's going again like this. This is going to go on here that way round, like that. And then that screw is going into there. Okay, and I've got it. No, I haven't. I thought I had it cocked, but I don't. It's the pedal that's cocked. There we go. So just slacken that screw off a bit. Okay, I'm going to tighten these properly because I don't think I've wound these right in. The way that felt when it stopped. No, I haven't. I thought I'd wound those right in. You've got to be so careful with these plastic screws because, you know, the difference between stripping the thread out and having it all the way down is next to nothing. And then that throttle cable is going to go over that pin on there. So there you go. You can see we've got our throttle assembly, our brake assembly and our clutch assembly. Right, so now we are going to take the upper front frame and fix the clutch pedal, 26B. So the clutch pedal is just the simple rectangular one. Okay, and fix the clutch pedal onto its lever as shown with an MP screw. So these are tiny, tiny, tiny little screws. Okay, so we'll get those out of there, leave one in the bag, that works out well. We'll pre-arm the screwdriver, if the screwdriver is small enough to hold. Blimey, they're tiny. So there's the clutch pedal. That's that way round. No, it's not, it's that way round. And the clutch pedal is going to get fixed into that hole there by the look of it. So there's a little slot. This is going to be really awkward to film. So there's a little slot that goes in, and then you've got the tiny little hole for the screw to go into. And hey presto, in it goes. Wow. I can't believe that actually went in, especially with the camera on. You have to be really careful with these because, like I say, you're going to be always going to be a quarter of a turn away from stripping the thread or having it too loose. And when I say too loose, I don't mean a place in France. Right, and then we're going to fit the I said the brake pedal. So the clutch pedal, sorry, the brake pedal is going to go into that hole there. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to put the screw into the hole, like so. And then I'm going to offer the pedal up to it, like that. And then attempt to put the screw in. Yeah, I knew this wouldn't work. I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm going to come back when I've done this pedal, because the camera's on, that's why it won't go in. Alright, so they're in. Okay, basically you've got 3 little square recesses and you've got the screw holes there, and then the last thing to do is put this throttle cable onto that pin there, like so. So there we go, you can see there's the assembly there all done. So that is how it should look when it's all done. And how lovely that is compared to another 1/8 scale model car I'm building at the moment. And that has springs and everything to make working pedals. And what's the point? And then you can't move the pedals anyway because the bulkhead's in the way. But that's lovely. Nice and strong, and it's just what it needs to be. You don't need working pedals in an 8 scale car. Right. So there we are, that's it. That's bin packs 25 and 26 for video part 23, is it, I think. So thank you for watching. Give us about 4 weeks to a month and I'll see you for the next lot. But as I say, I would thoroughly recommend getting yourself one of these. It is lovely. We've got lots and lots of pipes and wires hanging out everywhere, but it really is a beautiful, beautiful model. It really is. It's so well detailed. It's how an 8th model car should be, I think. Yes, we've got lots of screw heads showing, which isn't the best, but I'd rather that than have everything super glued together, personally. So there we go. You can see she's a beauty. Really, really nice. I will see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.